Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today we're going to be making corn and green onion fritters from Lazarus Lynch's Son of a Southern Chef. And we're going to serve these with the red pepper comeback sauce that we've made already, and I'll link up here. We made that in a separate video because it's a good sauce to just sort of serve with other things as well. The first thing I need to do for these fritters, however, is to cook some corn. I have some fresh corn that I just cut off of a cob and some green onions. So we're going to put this in a pan over medium-high heat in a little bit of olive oil and cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes until they're just sort of softened and fragrant. Not very long, but I'm going to get that started right now. So now I'm going to start putting together. I have my assistant stirring for me. Don't let it burn. And I'm going to start putting together the rest of the batter. So I'm mixing together some flour, which I've already measured, and there's not a whole lot of flour here. I don't think it's going to make a whole lot, although he says it serves 6. I don't know exactly how many it's going to make, whatever. But I'm going to put in some baking powder. Yes, that's baking powder. And I need to get my salt and some kosher salt. Now he says when we're done with this, we're supposed to sprinkle some flaky, like Maldon salt on it. I don't have any of that. I don't care. I'm going to just put some more kosher salt on it at that point. But what else do I need to add here? Oh, and a little bit, just a dash of cayenne. That's good. That won't be spicy. And we're gonna whisk this up together. I've got this on. All right, so now I have an egg white. I thought ahead and used the yolk in our eggs this morning, so I didn't have just a yolk sitting around, but that's why it's already done and separated. So we're gonna have an egg white. And then I have some buttermilk. So mine was frozen and it tends to kind of separate a little bit, but it'll be fine in this application. So there we go. We're just whisking this together. I'm not too worried about it being super smooth, but I want it to be a little less lumpy. There we go. And I'm gonna clean up a little bit. And here's my corn and my green onions. The green onions were sort of chopped up fine because he does say finely chopped, green parts only. So putting these in here, and the only other ingredient is some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I did not measure that, but it's fine. Just to fold that up together. And there we go. So I've got my oil heating in the background back there, and we're going to fry that at 365 degrees ish. He says you want about 3 inches of oil, so I've got a small Dutch oven with enough oil in there, and we're ready to fry. So we'll see you over there in just a minute. Okay, so our oil is ready. I'm going to start dropping approximately tablespoonfuls. I just have this scooper that I'm using because it's easy. So whatever size this is, it's probably about a tablespoon. And we're dropping it into our oil, which is supposed to be at about 365. And I'm just dropping it in. And he says to put in basically as many as you think it can hold. And they need to fry for about 5 minutes. And make sure you turn them over every so often just to make sure both sides get cooked and browned appropriately. Seems like I can do almost this whole batch. Seems like in one go. All right, I'm gonna make sure I've got a plate with some paper towels on it to hold them when they get out of the oil. I'm just making sure we get them turned over. Sometimes they don't want to stay turned over. All right, I'm gonna drop a few more in there. Frying, man, it's a thing you gotta be careful about and not let your oil get too hot. So it was let's get this going. Yeah, it looks like in this pan with this much oil, I can do basically all of them at once. Oil did come down in temperature as soon as you put food in, it tends to come down in temperature, so you have to kind of baby the heat when you're frying on the stove. There we go. That one seems almost done. And I'm just going to take them out as soon as I think they're brown enough. Then I'm going to make sure I get all of the little bits out because we're going to fry something else after this. Once I start frying, I'm like, I've got the oil ready. I've got it all used. Let's go ahead and fry some more. All right, I'm going to call this one done. It looks nice and brown. Put a little bit of salt on it. You want to salt them as soon as they come out because the salt will actually stick when they still have a little bit of oil on them. That was a very quick fry. I'm going to call all of those done. We're going to take a picture and let you know what we think in just a minute. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make corn and green onion fritters with red pepper comeback sauce, which we put in a different video, which I will definitely link in this one, from Son of a Southern Chef by Lazarus Lynch. And I realized sort of a few days after we made these that I completely forgot to put the garlic into the batter. But they were still really, really delicious. They were really easy to put together. They were very tasty. You could taste the green onions and the corn, and it was nice and fluffy. They were not difficult to fry. I was able to fry them all in about one batch. So that's great, because I really hate when you fry things and you end up like over the oil and keeping an eye on things like for so long just because you have so many to make. So this is a relatively small batch of these. The 5 of us ate them no problem. It says it serves 6. So that'd be a relatively small serving, I would say, depending on what you're doing with these. So you could double this. And there was way more than enough of the red pepper sauce for us. So we have some left over, and we'll have to figure out how to use that this week. He says you can keep it up to 5 days. I think you can probably keep it longer than that, but we'll try to use it up as soon as we can. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty easy except for the whole frying thing. But even so, it was not a bad fry. So some things are much worse. Anyway, and there were no like awful steps. It was all pretty easy. So you should really make this. We thought they were delicious and could have probably eaten twice as many, honestly. So if you enjoyed watching me make this, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, share with your friends, and come back and watch me make something else next week.